4th in Gurgle, equal 2nd in Killington, 6th in Semmering, first to ski the first leg. And Ed, you can talk us down. You'll get a better view of the course watching Wendy Holdener than you did with the forerunner earlier.
Yeah, it looks like it does swing straight out of the start gate. Trying to get into that rhythm early is always important, but Holdener, such experience under her belt, 285th World Cup start, 5 World Cup wins, and she's got form here, hasn't she? 3 podiums, 2 seconds and a third. So on a day without Schifrin and a day without Vlhova, you have to say it is absolutely wide open, and Wendy Holdener, so far so good, beautifully balanced on the skis as well. This is looking good.
Wendy Holdener is absolutely ripping it up here. This is a lightning start from Wendy Holdener. We knew she was in good form. She's got all the experience, 31 years old, approaching 300 World Cup starts. Oh, just a little wobble across the line, but she crossed the line legally and sets the pace of 50.82 seconds. So, Ljutic delivered 1 in Semmering. There it is, that green #1 showing her first ever World Cup victory. Can she back it up with a more success here in Kranjska Gora? Arguably more pressure now because she's done it once. The Croatian fans have followed to watch and hope for more success. Zrinka Ljutic on her way in her first run in Kranjska Gora and only 200ths off the pace of Wendy Holdener so far.
Yeah, you have to say the timing, a little bit amiss on those first few gates with a lot of pressure coming through the hills, but definitely looking more comfortable now. She comes onto the flats. She's lost a little bit more time, 1700ths of a second to try and find. Yeah, definitely a different story for her today. The one to watch, the one to look at, and can she deliver again? Accurate turns on the steep needed.
Zrinka Ljutic travelling beautifully here. She's fastest in that sector. She's found 100th of a second. Can she find another 1600ths of a second and put herself quicker than Wendy Holdener, whose time is 50.82 in their level? Can't split them. Zrinka Ljutic matches Wendy Holdener down to the 100ths of a second. Wearing the red bib, the leader in the World Cup slalom standing. She got her first win in slalom in Killington. And until yesterday, she was the leader in the World Cup overall standing. She's relinquished that leadership now to Sara Hector. How will she go in the first run in Kranjska Gora? Not much wrong with this, and she's very much in touch.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it, being the hunted, being the red bib wearer, to see how she deals with that pressure. Some dynamic turns now. She's down onto the flats. Again, took a bit of time to get into this run, but looking really quick at the moment. 1400ths to try and find. This is where her technique will really come into its own on the steep. She has such a short pressure right by the gate. She dances down the steep. This is good stuff.
Rast in really good shape here. Within half a second, within touching distance of the leadership held jointly by Zrinka Ljutic and Wendy Holdener. With a lightning fast finish, she could close the gap slightly, but I think it's going to be third. It is third, 0.32. She got a 10th of a second back in that final sector, but into the second run. Correct, isn't it? And exciting. It invites the athletes to attack, and let's see if we get full attack from Lena Djur. She can be guilty sometimes of just skiing a little cautiously, and she's not even going to get as far as gate number 10.
And Matt, you can see that coming, absolutely. Pretty much every single right foot turn, no separation to the upper and lower body, and it is still slick underfoot. The athletes have been making it look easy, but it is very slick underfoot, so Lena Djur not committing to that outside ski. I think we talked about it yesterday, didn't we, with Brignoni, just didn't have that confidence on the ski, and therefore when you don't have the confidence, look at that, no separation upper and lower body, just meant that those edges just slipped across the top of the snow surface. But when the confidence is not there, right from the time you push out to the start gate, it's really difficult to find it.
Zrinka Ljutic and Wendy Holdener. Joint fastest times, 50.82. They will go head-to-head for the victory, and they'll be joined in that battle by Rast and by Swenn Larsson and plenty of others who aren't too far away from the joint leaders' time. Emma Eicher's in good shape. Melanie Mayall once again in there, and Sara Hector is within a second of the third. 4 to come in Kranjska. Swenn Larsson, 4th after the first run, has an advantage of nearly half a second over Melanie Mayall. Can she make it count? The 33-year-old Swede, full of aggression, really fired up for this second run, has lost about a tenth.
She's a tiny bit static through those opening turns, not quite as dynamic as she would have wanted to have been. Now comes onto the flat, seems to have got her groove back, but lost another tenth of a second against Maillard. We know that Maillard was so quick without putting a foot wrong, and you have to say again, it just doesn't look like the flow is there from turn to turn for Swenn Larsson. Oh, but she still managed to find some time. This is going to go tight now, though.
Fastest in sector number 3, green lights all the way, her advantage slipping away, but if it's still green when she crosses the line, that's what counts, and it is, it's green, it's the lead for Swenn Larsson of Sweden, and it's the World Cup slalom standings leader who goes next. Camille Rast for Switzerland, third after the first run, wearing the red bib as the best slalom skier of the season so far. She's had a breakthrough season, getting her long-awaited first World Cup win on the tour in Killington, and .03. Started with a fractional lead of 200ths, no real change.
Comes onto the flat again. You can see working hard, a lot of up and down movement into the legs. What does the split say? 1300ths of a second to try and find. Now this is where that technique should come into its own as she comes to the steep, wanting to try and get on and off the edges as quickly as she possibly can. She's been super consistent all season long. She's found a couple of hundredths of a second. Here she comes.
Camille Rast, a tenth of a second behind. It might just be good enough for second unless she can provide a miracle finish and overhaul Swenn Larsson. Oh, it's very tight. It's second for Camille Rast. Swenn Larsson guaranteed a place on the podium with just 2 to come. She celebrates that in the leader's chair. Camille Rast will have to wait. She's second with just the final for Switzerland. They'll all be watching Wendy now. Joint leader after the first run. .34 her advantage over Swenn Larsson. She and Swenn Larsson have gone head-to-head, battle after battle on the World Cup, season after season. And it's a really fine start for Wendy. .39 opens up a huge gap over the Swede.
Well, it was fluidity on the first run that brought her the joint quickest time, and that's exactly what she's trying to do through this next section. Look at that, onto the flat, and just found a different gear to everybody else. Now it's about staying committed over your outside ski. Now it's about putting pressure on the youngster that's left at the top of the hill, and over a second in front. This is her own masterclass being delivered on the Podcoran.
Oh, this is a diamond second run from Wendy Holdener. A masterclass from Wendy. She's miles in front with just Zrinka Ljutic to come. Wendy Holdener shows the way and leads the way in Kranjska Gora.
Oh, the gauntlet throw down to the only athlete left at the top, the youngster, the teenager that is at the top, or 20 years old that's left at the top. But what a run that was. She absolutely flew across those flat sections like she did on the first, but just found a different gear to everybody else, and then super solid on those tough, steep turns.
They call her Sendy Wendy, and we've just had the perfect example of why. That was a sensational second run send from the Swiss, leading by more than a second, with the fastest second run time to boot. Swenn Larsson demoted to second. Rast is third. 1 to come in Kranjska. Just Zrinka Ljutic standing between Wendy Holdener. Top of the ski poles, stares down the track, and away goes Zrinka Ljutic. Last to ski the second run. The winner of the most recent slalom. Her first win came at the end of December in the Semmering slalom. Can she match or beat Wendy Holdener? She certainly beat Holdener through the first few turns, an advantage of 300ths of a second. But it's from here on in that Wendy Holdener found an extra gear, and Zrinka Ljutic is still with Wendy.
Well, she's matching her, isn't she? 200ths of a second, the difference. Zrinka Ljutic demolished the field last time out as she tries to back that up. She led after the first run there, and she's building time. Zrinka Ljutic answering the questions.
The 20-year-old Croatian matching Wendy Holdener. Slalom turn for slalom turn here in Kranjska Gora. What a race! Oh, Ljutic has done it again! Unbelievable victory! And the Croatians light their fireworks as Zrinka Ljutic brings them another win on the World Cup Slalom Tour. Her second. Croatians celebrate. Zrinka Ljutic has answered all the questions asked of her by Wendy Holdener and the rest of the world slalom skiers. That was an exceptional second run.
Oh, Matt, what a run that was. Wendy Holdener putting down one of the best runs of her life, and Zrinka Ljutic absolutely delivering under the biggest pressure. Those top two were different class, weren't they, Matt? Wendy Holdener, do you know what? I thought that run was going to be good enough to get it.
I thought that was, but you know what? It just goes to show the mental strength of Zrinka Ljutic.
Yeah.
Wendy Holdener can put down arguably the best run of her career, and Zrinka Ljutic has what it takes, bearing in mind they were on exactly the same time after the first run, has what it takes to go even quicker.
Incredible. You conquer Kranjska Gora for the first time as a Croatian. That was the first time ever that someone won here.
That's amazing. I'm speechless.
Like, I mean, you can see, you can listen. You have all the support here. It's crazy. You did an amazing run. Wendy was already stronger, but I mean, you overcome her.
Yeah, I felt good. I was trying to push everywhere. The only thing I thought I could do better was let go in the finish a bit earlier. And I was like, I hope it's enough. And it was enough. So,
You want to say something to them?
I want to say thank you to everyone who came to cheer. Hvala svima. Ovo je tek početak. And thanks also to Slovakian fans.
Congratulations, enjoy. Thanks.